So I've recently been replaying Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, and turns out there's a second game coming out pretty soon, well, relatively. Anyway, in the meantime, this visual novel came out, and I was really curious about what it's gonna do, where it's gonna go. And I don't know if I should explain anything else. Oh crap, I can do that. Anyway, I was kinda disappointed with the fact that you have only 3 clans, because when I played Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, I was really into Bruja and a little bit of Nosferatu. Here you only have 3 clans, which is Bruja, it's, as you can read on the screen, it's Rebellious Douchebag, Venture, which are the most boring clan ever, and the last one is Toreador, which is flamboyant douchebags as well. So all in all, I am not exactly sure what should I choose. I guess Bruja is the one I connect with the most. There's no way I'm gonna be Eric. What should I be? Oh god. Ah, crap. I can't do that. Okay, just Joe is fine. Yep, I was gonna write Joe Schmoe. New York taught me to believe in fate. Had you asked me about fate back when I was a human, I would have told you it's superstitious bullshit. But we are all designers of our own destinies. That belief shattered when the richest woman in the United States, the actual richest one, not the face you could have seen in the papers of course, sank her teeth deep into my neck. It happened in the very same place you're standing in right now, by the way. Fate? You decide. Please, there is absolutely no need to be hostile. Just listen for a little longer. You see, my mistake was I flew a little too close to the sun. It makes sense what my punishment was to never see its glow again. I was incandescent myself. I was hot shit. I had it all: money, looks, confidence, connections, men, women. Ooh, both of them. A career and a spark in my eyes, in the eye, the one you need to be born with. And that's when someone far more powerful than me saw my radiance and thought, that won't do. She robbed me of the light erupting from within me and gave me a subtle, enduring gleam in its place. She decided it would fit me much better. She was an nth generation kindred just like you, an apex predator. She probably enjoyed showing me a peak of human excellence, my real place in the food chain. It's such an eyesore when you look at the loudmouth braggart and see them all for all they really are. The temptation to teach them a lesson can be unbearable, right? Well, my sire's lesson was a lesson about fate, a message saying you're eternally doomed to being at the mercy of your sovereigns. It almost drove me to destroy myself. What saved me was the ability to reinterpret her teachings. Hers wasn't a message of doom, it was a message of hope. Fate exists, and one can shape it if given the right tools. As I believe I still might have a voice chat active, so I should probably close that. Oh, I don't know. Thanks. Nice. Okay, my side didn't believe my tools were fitting for the job. She considered them toys, and me, just her amusing subject. Well, she's dead and dead now, and I'm still here, standing right where she stood when we first met. You might have wondered how I've learned about your arrival at 2 JFK Airport. My answer is of course destiny. As luck would have it, today happened to be a day of my associates were inspecting the coffins. Driving you here straight from a plane and having you wake up in such a familiar place was a little desperate, and I do apologize for it. But it is so rare for you to visit New York, 3 times in the last 15 years, was it? And you're never eager to inform me that you're here. I understand you still have that meeting on 53rd Street later tonight, so I'll provide a comfortable transport. I value our relationship very much, don't get that wrong. Damn, I'm starting to stutter. But it is precisely because I value it what I'm going to ask you to repay the favor you owe me. You're the only one I trust you to get the job done, and without attracting attention. You might think I'm crazy, asking you to breach the rules of our society like this. You might think you won't get away with it unpunished. But this is New York. I don't know about other cities, but in this one, fate really exists. And right now, it's smiling in your favor. This is how it begins. The music is pounding and your pulse is keeping pace. This is one of those nights that makes you feel alive, even though it started with you feeling dead. First came a messy breakup, then the realization you have nobody to talk to about how much it sucked. Still, you decided to roll with the punches. On Facebook, search for local events later and you found just the thing for your malaise. I have no idea what it is. I sure somewhere right. And you find yourself at a club just outside Ambo. The Elephant? Not a fancy one, mind you, more like a slightly refurbished warehouse. But hey, at least the drinks are cheap. And I do like my drinks! I don't actually drink. The DJ seems to really know his shit too. Alternating between cutting-edge industrial techno and classic Detroit crowd pleasers, expertly feeling out everyone's mood. An hour passes, then two. Usually you'd feel awkward coming to a place like this alone, but tonight you find something soothing in joining the crowd, blending in, even as you allow the beat to take over. Sweat, yours, other people's, soaks through your shirt and pants in a matter of minutes. A thought pops into your head. From the outside, the fully packed club must seem like a stuffy, smelling nightmare, but here, in the thick of it, it becomes exhilarating. And you're not even on a pill tonight. There's this Latina chick whose curves are accentuated by the light dress clinging to her body, and she keeps bumping into you. Something tells you it only seems incidental. Yeah, it's a good night. Your shit could last forever, because you know all too well what the next day holds. Waking up, getting dressed for work, the commute, the 9 to 5 grind, what will make you just enough money to pay the rent and keep living in your overpriced shithole of an apartment. And if Jessica moving out, it'll be all big coming out of your pocket. You run some quick calculations in your head and immediately come to regret what you did. Never mind. You spot the Latina again. She is now next to another guy, hitting it off. Your chance of not going to bed alone, gone. Just like that. Fuck. Your mood temporarily shut down. You leave the dance floor and stumble your way to the filthy bathroom. You take a look in the mirror and start to wash your face. Obsessively. Over and over again. A voice from the past echoes in your mind.
I've never felt like this with anyone. Seriously, I mean it. I feel like all of my relationships up to this point were test runs, a shitty way to compensate for my low self-esteem.
But this feels right. Finally. Shut up, Jess.
This is the craziest freaking day of my life. God, I need a smoke. Pass me a light. What do you mean cops took a lighter? There's one in your mouth.
Why do you have a lighter in your mouth? Just shut the hell up. This is not you, not anymore.
Just fuck off. This is so like you, acting like some sort of Clint Eastwood wannabe, and I really need you to open up. You think you're impressing people with that tough guy act? Fuck you. I know how broken you really are. You need therapy.
Yeah, now that sounds like Jessica of today. Raise your head and look at the mirror. You try to smile, but all you can muster is a self-pitying grin. And there she is, not even from before. Oh, how bad feeling about this? She says you. Oh god, she doesn't even have her own voice lines, and it's only like a background, a flashback. She says you look like you need a drink. You hesitate for a second or two and blurt out its surprisingly enthusiastic yeah. You start to talk. It quickly becomes evident that she is into politics, and you are eager to please. What, seriously? Oh, we're in a dingy club in the middle of nowhere, with sweat and drugs and drinks everywhere. Let's talk about politics. The best place to talk about that. You might be a corporate John, but you spend a lot of evenings reading theory, actual theory, not bastardized Twitter cliff notes, and organizing for all manners of causes online. The status quo sucks. There must be something better. She agrees. You seem to subscribe to the same progressive political theories, have compatible ideas about the DSA missteps. I don't know what that is. Even watch the same YouTube channels. Your goals are aligned. She's a bit more radical than you'd have guessed. You attended a few rallies, been to a few protests, but this girl sounds like she broke her share of faces and kicked more than a couple of cops in the nuts over the course of her activist career. Okay, so she's gonna be your side. It's basically setting up the fact that she's bruja. So FYI, every clan is a little different, as obviously was explained in the beginning, but if you're not familiar with the world of darkness, basically every clan has a personality, and bruja is all about kicking asses and being kind of rebellious assholes. I never was like that, so yeah, I'm just working in the thought I've got. Her zeal is infectious. She taps into pent-up anger what you didn't know you had. The noisy club stops working for you both, so you hit the streets. And yeah, every clan also has a different set of abilities. So for example, Malkavians can turn invisible. You can just flat out go invisible. Same with Nosferatu. And I think someone else might have it. And as far as I know, Bruja can basically turn people... no wait, can we do that? Yeah, I think Bruja actually released mind control of all vampires. I don't exactly remember the toolkit they have. Anyway, vampires can mind control. That's the thing. Just as you leave and the DJ starts playing All the Things She Said by Tattoo. Of course. You chuckle to yourself, trying not to sleep into a bad headspace. She chuckles along with you. It's chilly outside, but soon enough you find yourself too invested in listening to the girl's voice to care about anything else. You realize you've been holding hands for quite a while. Damn, this looks great. Even got some animation going on. I kinda just wanna stare at this scene for a little bit. The subway car is empty, save for a stoic middle-aged couple and a drunk staring intently at his own feet. Plenty of room to stretch out, and yet she sits right next to you. You can feel her thigh pressing into yours, her breath on the side of your neck. Maybe it's the booze talking, but you distinctly hear your voice asking if she'd like to crash at your place. "I've got a better idea," she says. At this point you're down for anything as long as it lets you spend just a few more minutes with her. She takes you into a sleazy motel in the Bronx, trading a few words with a bald and tired-looking guy at the front desk. He hands her a key. Still holding your hand, the woman leads you up the stairs. The room you end up in is almost comically stereotypical, complete with flaking paint and sticky floor. Not that it matters though, the moment you step through the door, she's on you. Oh damn, you even got a guy down there? Going in the background? Damn, seriously, this game is gorgeous. It's like a painting you might hang on the wall in a sleazy motel like this. You know, surprisingly fitting. You try to take the lead, but she's having none of it. Before you know it, you feel rickety bad pressing against your back. It's sloppy, fun, fierce, and not once does she lose the initiative. Your hands reach under her t-shirt. Strange. It didn't look like she was cold outside, but now her skin feels eerily cold. As if sensing your confusion, she slaps your hand off her. She kisses your neck. You are overwhelmed by the sensation. Darkness. A taste of liquid fire and smoke on your tongue. Her way saying, "Sorry kid, I did what I had to do to leave the city in one piece. But don't worry, with my blood and your principles, you're gonna do just fine." She slams the motel room door behind her as she leaves. You lie helpless on the soiled, pungent mattress for some time. Minutes, hours. Before you can focus enough to try and piece together your evening, it hits you. The big hunger. It grips you by the throat and makes you inside shrivel in terror. It's an all-encompassing emptiness that throws you on all fours. You crawl for a while, squirming on the floor in sundering pain, then jump to your feet and bust out the door. You black out. This isn't the room you saw when you last closed your eyes. Somebody curses at you, a small naked buff dude holding a short leather whip. Wow, what a goofy motherfucker. He throws a punch. He yells out several slurs. He hits you in the jaw. You black out again. The guy isn't moving anymore. There's blood on his neck. There's blood on his arms. There's blood on the floor. There's blood everywhere. Wow, whoever did this is one sick puppy. You realize you're sitting on top of his corpse. You hear a whimper. Someone else is there. A woman. Her arms are tied to a bed frame. An eye mask over her face. Red marks on her back. This time you see it happen, you want to stop, but can't. She almost manages to get the scream out, but it dies in her throat as you bite into the side of her neck. You drink. Blood. You're drinking blood. You could swear you feel her life force escaping her body, entering yours. Suddenly terrified, you tear away from her neck. She's not moving, but she is breathing. There's barely a mark on her neck. The guy on the floor, though. You double over on the spasm, realizing what you did. You feel like throwing up, but can only gag. Panic sets in as another realization draws on you. Your heart is not beating. You put 2 fingers to your wrist, but feel no pulse. Same thing in the neck. Nothing. There's no breath coming out of your mouth. But there's a lot coming out of mine. You have to get out. Get someone to call an ambulance. For yourself at least. Probably too late for a dude on the floor. Did you pretty kill him? What a mess. You look up. The door to the room is ajar. A tall, handsome, broad-shouldered man fills the entire frame. He brushes an imaginary speck of dirt off his pale, perfectly tailored suit. God, this is not what it looks like. Hey man, this is not what it looks like. That's good to hear, because from where I'm standing it looks like you're in a world of trouble. He surveys the room not more than an inch from where he's standing. He shakes his head in mock concern. Murder, assault, that's 25 to life if you're lucky, but since you're not, it's a death sentence. He takes a glance at his expensive-looking watch. Lucky for you, it's been a slow night. Otherwise I might not have gotten here in time. Come on, the sun comes up in a few hours, you don't want to be around here when it does. I need a doctor? The sun? Fuck you, I'm not going anywhere. Okay, this is the most Bruja answer of all. I need a doctor. Well, the one I connect to most is this one. But I feel like if I'm gonna roleplay, this is the one I'm gonna go with. But I want to stick to my principles. What's it matter when the sun comes up? Ah, so you don't even know. You should be glad I got here before you made yourself scars. Scars. Damn it. The man approaches you and starts talking. His tone remains unnaturally calm. Oddly enough, you find it both soothing and slightly unnerving. Now, listen to me. I know this is all new to you, but I've dealt with hundreds of strays like you, and going by experience, they tend to fall into two categories. First, there are the smart ones who carefully obey my every word and don't try to pull off anything stupid. Okay, so we're gonna do the opposite of that. I always get them where we need to be, safe and sound. And then there are the dumb ones. The punks who thought they could take me on. The wise guys who tried to contact somebody, secretly and without permission. The troublemakers who tried to run off or make a scene. None of them got to their destination in one piece. In fact, most of them never reached their destination at all. His voice becomes slightly bored and monotone. You can tell he's given this speech before, likely dozens of times. So you see, while I generally consider myself pretty smart, I'm also a Mets fan. It's my one true weakness. One what inspired me to come up with a free strike system when dealing with pups like you. If you get on my nerves once or twice, well, I understand. Not all of us perform well in stressful situations. But cross me 3 times and you're out. No excuses, no forgiveness, no mercy. As he's talking, he slowly approaches you, adding a bit of theatrical swagger to his walk. Eventually he leans in, deliberately invading your personal space. Hey, that's my personal space, you better get out of here. You realize it's a test. He's daring you to do something about it. 3 strikes and you're out. Say, I understand, sir. Now. You've never been too eager to bend the knee to anyone, but this is something else. A man's very presence instills a primal fear in your heart. Okay, this would be the most me answer ever. I'll be like, I don't know where I am. I don't know what you're doing. Okay, that's totally me. But I really want to say this. With all due respect, sir, go fuck yourself. Strike 1. And what's your language, Rob? Moving on. Is there anyone you'd want to inform of your current situation? Tell them you're alright. He flashes his fangs briefly, and for some reason the sight sends a chill down your spine. There's something very wrong about him. Someone closest to you? Okay, I like that answer. You know, I wonder if I can lose before I even start the game. That would be interesting. Jerry. Yeah. And who is this Jerry? Your frantic mind is drawing a blank. Well, Jerry is a man of many faces. The stranger gives you a tired stare. Lying to me is a strike, Rob. Okay, fuck it. Jessica, my ex-girlfriend. She kinda hates my guts, but yeah, I suppose it would be her. Stranger gives you a puzzled look and decides to prod further. closest person in your life hates you guts. This time, something resembling a look of pity. Oh, I got a lot of holes in my life. He turns his eyes to the corpse on the floor. When it rains and pours, I suppose. And it'd be when you'd like to ruin her day and let her know you're alright. Give me her phone number. I'll have someone take care of it. Discreetly, of course. You hand him your smartphone so he can copy the number from your list of contacts. Thank you. This will be useful in illustrating my next point. Instead of giving you back your phone, the man hides it in his pocket. From this point on, you are subject to different laws than the ones you grew up under, and you'll be watched by many eyes to ensure these laws are respected. You are forbidden from letting anyone know you're still alive. You're forbidden from showing your face anywhere they know you. If anyone comes looking for you, it's over for both you and them. He interrupts his monotonous recitation and stares deep into your eyes. So, unless you want your girlfriend to end up at the bottom of Hudson, I'd suggest you cooperate. He proudly displays his fangs again. You've put Jess in danger. God damn it. I can only hope you care for her enough not to do anything selfish. His words are meant to imply otherwise, but by now it's obvious. He hates you guys guts as much as you hate his. He's itching for a fight, you're almost willing to oblige. Alright, I think that's enough lecturing for today. We're on a bit of a schedule here. Now, I don't need to hurt you, but I can do so in the blink of an eye. Just so that we're clear, I have the authority to end you right here, right now. This is no idle threat, so are you going to play along or do we have to do it the hard way? Oh yes. You throw a punch, hoping to stagger him and run out of the room. You can see it coming a mile away. His hand shoots up and grabs you by the wrist. Damn, he's strong. You really shouldn't have done that. Yeah. That's worth a shot, asshole. A dog as stupid as you deserves to be put down. You feel the bones in your wrist crack under the man's iron grip. You yelp in pain, feeling your arm snap like it was being crushed in a vice. He's not human. 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 You know what? I don't care anymore. I count that as strike 3. For a split second, it all becomes a blur. Suddenly you feel a sharp pain in your chest. You realize you can't move a muscle. Man throws you over his shoulder like a sack of potatoes and carries you out of the room. You can only see snippets zoning in and out. No one stops a man as he carries your helpless body out of the building and throws it in the back of a black car. You drift out of consciousness, everything goes black again. An endless void of nothingness. An endless void of nothingness. An endless void of nothingness. Suddenly that squelch-like sound rings out in your ears. When your chest explodes with an excruciating ache, disembodied you find yourself being slowly entrapped by horrifying dead flesh. Then, resurrection. You suck air through your teeth as you wake, hoping this was all a nightmare. The gasp doesn't bring you any comfort, and you quickly realize it's nothing more than a residual instinct. You don't actually breathe in nor out, and your heart is as still as it was before. Sight comes back to you, and as the somewhat familiar surroundings of an underground room comes into focus. The humming of this Cadillac engine reaches your ears before his voice does. Rise and shine, fledgling, you've got places to be. There he is, standing in the doorway expectantly. His suit is as immaculate as yesterday, but his presence strikes you as even more malevolent than before. You remember the last thing you felt while looking at his face, the bones in your hand being crushed to an oozing pulp. You look at your fingers, but they're almost fully mended, with just a bit of bruising. Was your mind playing tricks on you? I might as well keep it going. Screw you, asshole. Despite your previous misbehavior, I'm offering you a polite handshake, whelp. Before we leave, you will return it. Either willingly or with your hand being torn off your body. Your choice. The man glances at his watch and then turns his eyes to you again. You're expected. Get in the car. You have more questions? Where I'm taking you, you'll get the answers. Probably more than you're ready to handle. Okay, I feel like this would be a dumb thing to say. He would be like, oh, okay, you wanna die? Pop. You can let me go. That one is kinda dumb. God damn, I don't like any of those answers. Let's go with that one. Or maybe not. You know, let's go stick with that one. Can you at least acknowledge I'm dead? It's a philosophical conundrum what I don't feel competent to solve. Medically speaking, you are deceased, and yet you're standing here talking, thinking, stalling. Enough is enough. You're getting inside the car. Are you really willing to risk a fourth strike in this much? Yeah! Fuck it! You're not about to give up this, isn't he? Putting all your strength into it, you ram the stranger with your shoulder. That was the plan, at least. In the blink of an eye, what seemed like an easy target is out of your path. You stumble, and need to grab a car to stabilize yourself. Shameful display! You start behaving, or do I have to put a stake through your heart again? Stake? Heart? You look down, your clothes are ripped around your sternum. You touch your chest, you realize there's a gaping hole there. You can feel your broken ribs and the flesh around them. The sight is both nauseatingly morbid and utterly mesmerizing. You have plenty of time to get used to this sight on our way. Right now, I need you to listen closely because this is the last time I will repeat myself tonight. You can either come with me willingly or staked in the back of a car. I will make sure to tell my superior which option you picked. I can tell you right now, she will not like the latter. Choose carefully. Bruja! The car driver's door, it's right there. Throw yourself towards it. You open the car, you reach for the keys, grab the wheel, hit the gas! A strong firm grasp on your shoulder yanks you back violently. You're thrown to the cold concrete as the car jerks forward. Oh, he yanked you out of a moving car. Then produces a sharp piece of wood from his pocket and slams it into your chest. It's a familiar feeling, sharp pain, muscles tensing, paralysis, and the feeling of an all-encompassing exhaustion. You can see the trunk of a car opening, and the trunk closing with your body inside. The last thing you sense is the noise engine starting, when you're wrapped in an all-encompassing nothingness. Back into a familiar void. That scorching sound again. Feeling returns to your limbs, sight and hearing follows. You're in a brightly lit room, paintings on the wall, soft music, an art gallery. God damn, it's like everything in this game has been drawn by some professional artists. Everything's like a painting. I'm just really liking it. Not your traditional video game graphics, but yeah, I really enjoy this. The stranger is here holding a stake in his hand. There are more people too, many more, all staring at you. Get up. You stand up, about 24 faces observe your every move, and a number of waiters navigate the gathering, serving drinks. None of them are acknowledged by the people they are attending. The guests are all well dressed, mostly, but it's unclear why they're all gathered here. Nobody seems particularly interested in the art pieces on the walls, and the atmosphere is polite. Unnaturally so. Something about everyone's eyes makes it abundantly clear. They are here for you. I think the legend is ready to take your questions, Prince. Prince? You look at who a stranger is addressing. You expect a man, but it is a somewhat plain-looking woman. So it was him, Kadir. Good evening, child. Good evening, miss. Excuse me, what? Not a child. Okay, this would be the most Bruja, I guess. And this... this would be more like me. Okay, so we've been Bruja for a while, let's go with me. Excuse me, what? The Prince of New York, Helen Panard. Goddamn, I need to hear someone say that, I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Child of Michaela is addressing you, whelp. Okay, turns out you can't use space. Thank you, my sheriff, but I'm capable of introducing myself. She doesn't seem to possess a great deal of charm, but still the entire room is intently focused on her voice. She has influence over these people, that much is clear. You shall address me as Prince, child. I'm told you have proven to be quite a burden to our dear sheriff, Kadir, this night. And it's not your first attempt at escaping the proper order of things too. Truly you seem to be unruly to a point where it might read as suicidal. First voices fill the room. One of the faces catches your eye. It's a beautiful woman with curly, almost blood-red hair, and a dress to match. You see her leaning over to some bespectacled man. She looks at you, briefly, but with interest. The woman who calls herself Prince glances around the room and expectantly, the whisper ceases. We have already heard all we need to hear about your behavior, but there is one thing that you may know, only you may know. Okay, dictionary updated, nice. Your sire, the person who brought you where Kadir picked you up last night, who were they? It doesn't matter. Why? Why does it matter? They're gone, right? They left you there. They let me kill a bystander. They have broken our laws and made you an unwilling accessory to their crime. If you help identify them, it might improve your standing with us. Trust me, it's the only sensible thing to do. Something in her voice makes you trust her. Actually, yeah, another thing. Princes, from what I understand, are generally Ventru, which means... Actually, I think they're always Ventru, I'm not sure about that. Anyway, point is, they are the one clan which is just the most mind-controlling of all. Like, that's the thing they do. Bruja is more about just kicking ass, getting stronger, getting faster, better, harder. But Ventru control the mind. Something in her voice makes you trust her. Exactly. You realize there's no reason to oppose her, not at all. And you hear yourself speak. A Latino woman, very radical unless she convincingly lied to me. She was special, extraordinary. Extraordinary, she had fire, conviction, temper. She did seduce me, easily in fact. Made me think she wanted me. I fell for it, and now I'm here. You stop yourself from saying more when you realize that there's really not much more to talk about. A nagging thought enters your mind. How did this prince persuade you with such ease? Well, Kadir, does that sound familiar? No, it does not, or at least not familiar enough. I will continue the search after we're done here. Can I go now? What happens now? Receptionist she spoke to may know her. I'm not exactly sure. Oh, yeah, receptionist in the hotel. Okay. Yeah, I want to help them as little as possible. I'm trying to play Bruja, I'm trying to be an asshole to those people. Can I go now? I told you what I know, can I go now? No, definitely not. What shall I do with the fledgling, my prince? What is your recommendation, my sheriff? The traditions are clear. Thou shalt only sire now with the permission of thine elder. If thou createst another vault of elders, thine elders leave, both thou and thy progeny shall be slain. I'm eager to do my duty. Oh no! Stay your hand for just a moment longer, Kadir. I wish to consult my counsel on this. Make sure everyone is in agreement. Of course. He relaxes a bit and closes his eyes. The prince leaves with the main showroom, and about 6 people follow her out. You're about to ask this Kadir with all that talk, what the talk of traditions and councils was, when a red-haired woman approaches with 2 of you. Sophie.
Sheriff, I was wondering if I could have a word with the fledgling.
What for? She lowers her voice in response.
Come now, Kadir. There can only be one word given the circumstances. Let me speak to them. You might not have to stay in your hands tonight after all.
What if I want to get them dirty? The stone wolf has caused me quite a headache. I'm in a mood to return the favor.
Have you really become so eager to let the beast speak through you? This is not the Kadir I know, but I've learned to respect.
That grabs his attention. His face is hard to read. It's like several emotions are struggling for domination. Anger, sadness, resolve. Damn you, Langley. His eyes flare up with contempt. 5 minutes, and not a moment longer. You stormed out of the room the way you came, and you are left in the showroom with a woman in a red dress. She takes you aside, and the eyes of the remaining guests follow.
Well, Fledgling, you managed to get under Kadir's skin. Not an easy feat. You're in a precarious position, and in need of allies. You're lucky that I'm deciding to attend this meeting tonight.
I'll fight on my own. What is this circus? What the hell is with this party for rich sickos? Look like something straight out of a conspiracy theory.
Everyone here knows a thing or two about conspiracies, but you don't have time to discuss those right now, so I'll stick to explaining what concerns you most directly. Last night, you became a vampire.
Wait, what?
Oh yes, I'm well aware how ridiculous that sounds. It's why we have these nicer words for it. Kindred, being embraced, having a sire, the fact remains.
The beings called vampires, you look at them, whereas... You glance around. Some of the guests are still occasionally looking at you, commenting on you in hushed tones. Many of the patrons are pale. Really pale. Most hold glasses of wine. No, not wine. That's not the right thickness, and not the right color either. You're trying to come up with something sensible to say, but you're drawing a blank. It makes a morbid kind of sense. You drank blood last night, there's no denying it. And your breathing has not returned, your heart remains still. A vampire. Two voices in your head start battling for supremacy. One of them slowly begins to put everything what happened since yesterday together, coming to a conclusion that no matter how insane it might seem, nothing but what she's saying makes sense. The other voice just keeps saying, "What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck?" on repeat.
You're surprised. This is how often it plays out by design. Kadir deliberately keeping you in the dark and all. If you do nothing, you will be cut down, as sure as the day follows night. But I'm here to offer you a chance, a way out, under one condition. You're in hot water with Kadir's account of your behavior thus far. The society values docility. I'm taking a huge risk if I speak out for you, but I'm willing to take you under my wing if you swear fealty to me. I'm not making this offer lightly. As your patron, I will take responsibility for you. Your actions will reflect on me. If they reflect negatively, well, I will make sure you face the consequences.
You'll make me a servant. What happens if I agree? What happens if I refuse? I think... well, this would be the one I'm most inclined to. This would be the more Bruja one. Let's go with Bruja. So let me get this straight. You'll make me a servant in exchange for my life. That's the deal.
If you insist on putting it in such pedestrian terms, yes, that is the deal. As you so elegantly put it, the alternative is, I fear, final death at the hands of Kadir, here, tonight.
Steps and hushed voices can be heard from her side room. It seems the prince and her council returned into the showroom. Kadir appears from the downstairs as well, and starts walking over to you, glowering.
When you hear the verdict, ask to be spared. I will intervene. Remember my condition.
She flashes a sad smile towards Kadir, who does not smile back. I don't think he's capable of it. The sheriff's immaculate suit is now complemented by a curved oriental-looking metal scabbard, fastened with a colorful sash around his waist. It would look vaguely ridiculous if it wasn't surprisingly intimidating first and foremost. Kadir takes his place next to you and observes as the prince takes center stage again.
Loyal kindred of a New York City Camarilla gathered here tonight. I have made my decision regarding this fledgling. As you are all keenly aware, these nights we need to close our ranks and trust the wisdom of our elders and their traditions more than ever before. The Valve's behavior since being embraced has been disagreeable, and that does not bode well when becoming a valuable member of our society. Although I acknowledge some of my council's divergent opinion on this.
She takes a look specifically at one of the people who left the room before, a shy-looking man whose skin has a somewhat healthier tone. He bows his head in deference.
I hold the final authority over this fledgling's fate, and I declare that while their embrace might be the sire's responsibility, in their absence it is their progeny what shall be punished. Their sentence is final death, to be resolved presently. Kadir?
You hear a scraping sound and see that the sheriff has unsheathed his curved sword. Curved swords! It is a beautifully detailed blade, which you expect must be worth a small fortune. Its apparent sharpness makes you freeze up. Two notes, but a move an inch. His quiet mumble is audible to nobody but you. As his eyes meet yours, you note just a hint of sadness in his countenance, one that quickly vanishes to give you way to grim determination. And he's out to bed. You will not get another chance to speak up. Well, this is probably gonna end the game. Escape the gallery, this is probably gonna end the game. Yep, I don't think we have a choice. You make your choice. I'm not going to go down like this. Damn it, spare me!
Prince, if I may ask you to stay the sheriff's hand for a while longer.
Kadir looks at the prince, awaiting her response. The sword is still hanging above you, threatening to fall at a moment's notice. Is there something you'd like to say, Miss Langley? Yes, if I may. At first the prince looks somewhat annoyed at the distraction, but she stays quiet for a while, measuring the mood of the room. The bored elites suddenly look at you with aroused interest, some of them dismayed at not seeing the bloodshed, but all intrigued by the unexpected twist. The prince nods. Well, let's hear it. Sophie takes a few steps forward. All eyes are on her now, but Kadir's heavy hand on your shoulder makes it clear you won't take advantage of a distraction. My prince, while the traditions are clear, I believe that the proper context should be observed in addition to the letter of the laws. This legend is a burden, but with proper guidance, they could become an asset to our domain. And I understand you are volunteering to take this unruly child under your protection. Yes, I am willing to give them a chance, and prove to the entire domain that they can adhere to our expectations. I will take nothing less than their full cooperation, naturally. Whispers can be heard again, an incredulous voice or two. A hushed, just behead the fucker! Some suppressed exclamations of surprise. Silence. I ask all of you to make a note of this moment. I might be persuaded to bend one tradition in this child's favor, but now will have to be enforced even more firmly in its stead. Until Viper progeny shall be released, thou shalt command them in all things. Their sins are thine to endure. Are you certain that's the responsibility you wish to shoulder, Miss Langley? I am willing to guide this legend and add a valuable ally to our sect in a time of need, yes, but I would like to receive a right of destruction over them, if it pleases you. Give me a chance to prove myself, Prince. Destruction? Oh, hell no! Okay, this would be totally me. I would be confused, quiet, and afraid. Give me a chance to prove myself, Prince. Destruction? Oh, hell no! Destruction. Let's go with that one. That's Bruja. Hey, it's me we're talking about here. Don't I get a say in this right of destruction thing? His grip tightens on your arm, like a vice. His other hand goes for his sword again. I advise you to stay your tongue. The prince smirks. With this one's temper, you might need the right sooner than you think, Miss Langley. I shall grant you what you ask. Let it be known, Sophie Langley of the Clan of the Rose will become this fledgling's patron. They shall be considered like sire and child. Miss Langley will take full responsibility for them, and I grant her the right of destruction, if she sees fit to use it. Let my intentions be clear, however. If I am to turn a blind eye to one of our most important traditions, on this occasion I shall expect it to be beneficial to the Camarilla. Substantially so. I hope you find this verdict satisfactory, Miss Langley. Of course, Prince, thank you. Very well. She turns to you. What is your name, child? Joe, Prince? Should I use a nickname? Oh, now you're asking for my name. Okay, let's go with that one. Now that I'm no longer cattle to be slaughtered, flagellant child got old. Kadir visibly tenses up at this, and so does Sophie. The prince remains unfazed. Careful with that unruly tongue of yours. What I have given, I can just as easily take away. Her voice takes on a stern and threatening tone. I would like to hear your name now. Suddenly overcome by base terror, you blot out your name. Joe! A mean smile appears on the prince's face. She nods. Welcome to the Camarilla, Joe. Now, this evening proved to be even more eventful than I had anticipated, but with the fledgling's fate decided, I believe our meeting here can conclude. Thank you all for appearing on such short notice. Give my regards to those who couldn't make it. Kadir, a moment of your time before I let you return to your duties. Of course, Prince. Shoots you a side glance but doesn't leave much space for interpretation. You will be watched. You will be judged. And if need be, you will be punished. The two of them leave the gallery. If it wasn't for my sheer pride, I would have withdrawn my offer there and then. What were you thinking, mouthing over like that? Goddamn, I start to stutter too much. I need a drink. You probably do as well. She raises her hand at one of the well-dressed concierges, who have now reappeared in the showroom to refill the guests' glasses. The conventionally handsome man approaches with a carafe of red liquid. What the hell is that? Stop using complicated words, I don't know what they mean. He pours it into 2 glasses. You can barely wait until he hands you a drink. Your attention is fully on it. The fact that it's blood, you're certain of it, doesn't faze you this time. While Sophie sips her drink, You realize this thirst, no, this hunger can only be satiated by drinking a whole glass in almost a single gulp. As the liquid coats your throat, blissful relief takes hold. A posh woman passing by rolls her eyes at your lack of etiquette, but Sophie pays it no mind.
Kadir has been starving you, hasn't he? Let's see if I can do something about that.
She motions again, the man returns and gives you a refill. This time you find yourself having more control. Take a sip. Savor it. It's smoky and warm, making you think of a cozy cabin in the woods. It does strike you a strange image for your mind to jump when drinking human blood, but it is what it is. You've never tasted anything like it.
Do you like it? I think NYC caterers have very bourgeois ideas about what good blood should taste like. Apologies, you must have so many questions. Well, we're on the topic, perhaps we should start with those related to sustenance.
How much do I have to drink? Where do you get the blood? What if I refuse to drink? Where do I get the blood? Where do you get the blood? It's kinda weird when you have waiters serving blood. Where do you get it from?
That can be a bit of a touchy subject. Let's just say that most of the blood available at events like this is crowdfunded. Did I get it right? It's hard to keep track of modern language. At any rate, what I mean is there's a plethora of vessels on tap. As for where to get blood when you're not in Elysium, tomorrow I shall take you hunting, and we shall explore this topic further. What you need to know right now is, no matter how much you drink, you will always be tempted to have more, unless you consume someone holy to the last drop. But even that doesn't last. Let's start by just taking a single sip from a vessel. Be prudent. Hot, fresh blood is more satiating than most anything that can be served in a fancy glass, but it can make you more voracious. As to how much you should have, it depends. If you're frugal, you can survive many nights without a single drink, but it's more risky and it will tempt a beast, what is part of our curse. God damn it.
What do you mean by hunting? You mentioned a beast, so I'm expected to follow your lead now. That's just a dumb question. You expected a beast? You mentioned a beast? Let's go with a beast. That beast you mentioned, is that a metaphor or...?
Oh, it's quite real, although not in the strictly physical sense. It lives in all of us, our nature and hunger manifest. More religious among us, connected to a biblical Cain, rage of a first murderer, cursed by God, seething in all of his descendants. I, however, am a child of enlightenment. Not that it makes my struggle any easier. I have to be very like every other kindred in the city and beyond. Individual kindred each have a unique relationship to their beast. What yours is going to be remains to be seen. But you do need to keep it under control. Each outburst endangers not just you but also a masquerade. The concierge returns, asks for permission to intrude, which Sophie gives with polite smile, and leans in to whisper in her ear. You note that the gallery is now almost empty. I'm being told the gallery is just about to close, but we still have quite a lot to discuss. We'll go to one of my apartments. My jalopy is waiting downstairs. Come.
The smile she puts on makes you remember the way you felt with a Latina. It's not arousing though, more like a magnetic. You find it hard to argue. Even though you're still suspicious of her authority over you, her charms momentarily wins you over. Sophie leads you in a luxurious Rolls Royce and invites you to sit in the back. The chauffeur, a broad-shouldered, clean-shaven middle-aged guy, starts driving immediately.
Where did we leave off? Oh, I believe I started telling you a bit more about our customs. We've heard the prince refer to our traditions, but chief among them is a masquerade. As you might have gathered from us assembled into a niche gallery after closing time, our comings, goings and doings tend to be somewhat secretive. We do not advertise our existence. We allow myths and modern fiction to morph and muddle the facts, and so to the vast majority of kind, we remain bedtime stories and pop culture icons. Say, is that one television show about vampires and angels still popular?
You shake your hand in confusion. She shrugs and continues talking, looking a bit more dejected than before. I think she might be referring to Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but I never watched it, so I don't know much about it.
Our clandestine ways help us remain safe, allow us to explain away the occasional trip-up to the rational minds of 21st century humanity, and dictate much of our interactions with mortals.
What's the risk? He's a driver vampire too, so what's the flip side? He's probably a ghoul actually. I don't want to know about this, cause yeah, ghouls have been explained in Bloodlines so I don't really care about that. I'm wondering if I can dig up more info which I don't know about yet. Directions of morals, what's the risk? The risk we get exposed and hunted down. Is he a vampire too? No, he's a ghoul. So what's the flip side? Okay, I'm not sure what she's gonna say to that. So, like, what are the perks here? You're a vampire, but you need to keep quiet about it? What's the point? There has to be a flip side, right?
Don't get me wrong, we have power, immense power, influence over mortals. Immortality has its benefits too, of course, but we have many enemies and some know our weaknesses well. For one, sunlight burns us. That's why we rest during the day. You felt it. More like being dead than being dormant, isn't it? But we have no choice. We are night dwellers, but day sleepers. Some more folk-related threats such as legend or occasionally minor nuisance. Garlic, rain and water, even religious symbols don't repel us, unless the wielder is uniquely pure and godly. Stakes through the heart, though, that's something to avoid. We do not destroy, but we do paralyze, which under the right circumstances can often be the same thing. You're familiar with the sensation, I'm sure.
Oh yes. You see her point to a closed wound on your chest, though with tattered clothes where the stake entered are more of a reminder of your defiance at this point than any pain or discomfort is. For a second you expect your heart to beat faster, when you remember it's impossible.
That's a reason to have somebody like my trusted driver, Gregory, making sure you're safe when you drift away. We have many enemies, and they often know where advantages lies with daylight.
Masquerade sounds like bullshit, so it's good to keep human friends. Do vampires watch each other's backs? I don't really like any of those options as well, but I'm curious about what's gonna go here. Am I right in thinking what having a human friend or two is necessary then, or at least useful?
In moderation, and best if they don't know your true nature. Also, I would say what subordinates are useful, but friends? I haven't had one of those in many years now. Our little sect supplies social interactions aplenty, but it doesn't really encourage friendships. Alliances of convenience to be broken at a whim, yes, that's more like it.
Can I click? Can I just... Vessel, Beast, Cain, Kindred, Sect? A group of vampires are arguably united under a common philosophy. Two of the most widely known sects currently populating the Naita Kamari Landmark movement. What about the Sabbat? Why didn't you comment about Sabbat?
Long-term solidarity doesn't occur in the Camarilla, but they are a very politicized organization by necessity. Loyalty is to your sire, to your prince, and to the sect. Friends must remain a distant priority at best for us, to remain the masquerade and thrive as the years pass. With age comes authority, with it comes influence and power, if you wish to reach for them.
She seems to be lost in thought and falls silent for a while, leaving you to ponder all the things you've learned tonight. It still feels absolutely unreal, but as you piece together, as piece after piece of knowledge falls into place, the image becomes almost like an entirely logical jigsaw puzzle. Whenever you wouldn't believe on your own, you've witnessed. Many questions swarm your thoughts, but the one you keep returning to is what your place in this new reality should be. Car stops. You're in the city, in front of an old but well-renovated apartment building.
We're here. Would you like to see your lodgings?
My own apartment? Neat. Is it parking lot room? How long do you expect me to stay here? I like this one. I get my own apartment? That's neat.
Consider the first of the many gifts that I am able to grant in exchange for loyalty. Come upstairs.
She leads you through a small hall with a night guard who greets Miss Langley with a good evening, and you take her stairs up to the second floor. Sophie opens up the door to room 209. Okay, I'm not exactly sure, but I think that might be the same room as the one you use in Bloodlines. I feel like this whole game has a ton of references, but I'm just not catching all of them. Inside there are all the amenities you could expect from a modern apartment, and some you wouldn't have deemed necessary just the previous night, including thick blinds on the windows. The back room has a comfortable looking bed and a thick steel door with several sturdy looking locks, but no windows. Damn. I don't know, I just want to kind of remove the UI, hide it, and look at this picture, because it looks great. Seriously, whoever drew all of this is just... I don't know, we deserve a raise.
Well, how do you like it?
This is great, thank you. What, I can choose an ever? Yeah, you know what, let's go with that. Doesn't matter, will they get enough choice if I said no?
That is a fair point. No, this is the only apartment I can spare right now, but if you find yourself with some unexpected needs regarding your housing, don't hesitate to clue me in. Tomorrow I will take you hunting and discuss the blood in more detail. I'll let you get comfortable. The keys are by the television set. I will come pick you up tomorrow night. Use back room for rest. You can lock the doors just in case.
It stings a bit when she leaves. It's like the room suddenly became a few shades dimmer. You inspect the kitchen, hoping to find something to drink. Nothing. No regular food ever. Feels strange that Kadir could be a more thoughtful host when you're new sire, even if only in that respect. You briefly wonder if the sheriff might have a hidden side. With nothing left to do, you lie on the couch with a TV playing in the background for company. Columbo reruns. Kojak reruns. President of the United States got himself into serious trouble again. President of the United States got himself out of trouble again. Pundits start yelling over each other about things that seemed a little bit less insignificant just 2 days ago. You start drifting off, reflecting about another night of confusing conversations and worldview-shattering revelations. How many more before you finally understand what happened to you and what you're supposed to do now? You keep coming back to life you left behind, the people you should contact, the things you want to pick up from your apartment. You wonder when you'll have the chance for either. You start to feel the same tiredness what made you drift into a cold sleep last night. You settled in the back room. The bed is comforting, the lack of windows less so. You leave a light bulb on. Looking at it, you realize it's the closest you'll ever come to staring at the sun on the breezy summer day again. A wave of melancholy overwhelms you. A few minutes later, your consciousness fades, and you take the plunge into darkness again. Sinking, sinking, sinking.